I'm Donna.
And I'm Bruce. And this is Lyrical Wisdom.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Lyrical Wisdom, where we dive into song lyrics and offer heart-based wisdom through our interpretations. If you enjoy what you're hearing, don't forget you can catch every episode of Lyrical Wisdom on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and more.
You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Lyrical Wisdom Show. Do you have a song you'd like to hear us shed some light on? You can email us requests, questions, comments to lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on a YouTube video. We'd really love to hear from you. And all requests get an episode and a shout out.
So join us every Tuesday and Friday as we dig deep and deliver our wisdom. And thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing to Lyrical Wisdom. Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Donna.
How are you today?
I'm having another day in paradise.
Oh, I like that. Especially in the midst of all that is.
Oh my gosh.
It is still paradise.
It is still paradise. And another day in paradise. Shout out to my nephew. My dad used to say that almost every day.
Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I love it. I love it when in just being in the moment brings back a moment that you have been in.
Yeah.
And it triggers a memory.
It definitely did.
Yeah,
it definitely did.
That is awesome. Welcome everyone here to Lyrical Wisdom. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I want to let you know that we now are available to your listening ears on 4 platforms.
Amazing.
I know, I'm so excited. We are now on Apple Podcasts.
Wow.
So you can just take your phone, push that little app that comes pre-downloaded on every iPhone.
Yep.
And you can listen to Lyrical Wisdom on your phone through Apple Podcasts. We're also on Amazon Music, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yes, we are on YouTube as Lyrical Wisdom Show. And everything else you can find us just looking for Lyrical Wisdom. So please come check us out and like us, subscribe, and leave comments, leave your recommendations, suggestions. Requests.
Yes, please. We love your requests. We love doing requests. And thank you all so much for your likes, your shares, and for subscribing, because it really, really does help.
Yes, it does.
And you can also send requests to
lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com.
Thank you, guys. We have a really interesting song today, I think.
I agree.
I am not that familiar with this band. I think it's more of a younger generation's band.
I think you're right.
Yeah, but I know that we have done some of their songs in the past.
We have. And even though I am honestly a child from the 1900s, I will say that this band, probably for the newest generation out there, is probably not the newest band, but for me, it's a pretty new band. It's a pretty new generation kind of band that I'm not as familiar with as I'd like to be, because we're on a second or third song of theirs. And
that's true.
I do admit that I love their music. I've heard their music before and I've enjoyed it, but I haven't really gotten a chance to dig deep like we're about to dive into this.
Right. And I have my children to thank for this. They're the ones that, I hear this music through.
I love it.
So, yeah.
Blame the children. Yes, they're the wonderful. They expose us old people. Just kidding.
Yeah. They're all grown up now. They're adults now.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. Yeah.
We have Allie with us. She's our awesome sound engineer. And so there's one of them for you. So
That's true.
yes.
That's true. And we appreciate her
Oh
so
my
much.
gosh.
You guys, this beautiful resonance and harmony that you're receiving from Bruce and I is all brought to you in thanks from Allison,
Yes,
our sound master.
Yes, we have a lot that we can't tell you. I mean, everything, because it would probably take too long. But we have so much to
Right.
thank her for. So,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, and thank you all for being here.
Yeah. And speaking of children and babies, there is something about this song, right? I
Yeah.
mean, because when you think about it, I mean, Allison and her wife Caitlin turned me on to this beautiful YouTube about Shadow and Jackie.
Oh wow.
And they're the Eagles that have had babies.
Oh my goodness, that's right. That live video that you were showing me of the Eagles.
Right. And this song, I don't know, I'm just looking from the title only. And it just reminds me of what we all have to do.
Oh, that's
there comes
amazing.
a time when you get kicked out of the nest, right?
That is true.
And what do you have to do?
You have to learn to fly.
Yeah.
Thank you for that setup. That was a beautiful setup. This is Learn to Fly by the Foo Fighters. Run and tell all of the angels, this could take all night. Think I need a devil to help me get things right. Hook me up a new revolution, 'cause this one is a lie. We sat around laughing and watched the last one die. Now I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. And I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of lying, make my way back home when I learn to fly high. I think I'm done nursing patience. It can wait one night. I'd give it all away if you give me one last try. We'll live happily ever trapped if you just save my life. Run and tell the angels that everything's all right. Now I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of lying, looking 'cause I'm tired of trying. Make my way back home when I learn to fly high. Make my way back home when I learn to fly along with me. I can't quite make it alone. Try to make this life my own. Fly along with me. I can't quite make it alone. Try to make this life my own. I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. And I'm looking for a complication, looking 'cause I'm tired of trying. Make my way back home when I learn to fly high. Make my way back home when I learn to fly.
Very, very interesting, Bruce.
Yes.
This one's going to be another one of those deep songs we keep. I don't know if it's just because our knowledge base, our wisdom base is growing because of doing this.
Yeah.
It's been well over a year, right?
Yeah,
We've been doing
yeah.
this. And the more we look at lyrics like this, there are so many different directions that I feel we can go with these particular lyrics.
Yeah, no,
The
you're
first
absolutely
one,
right.
run and tell all of the angels, this could take all night.
Yeah. I think I need a devil to help me get things right. It just, it sounds very metaphoric. It sounds like there's definitely, some kind of allusions and hints in that. And I think that it's a bit of an acknowledgement.
Right. And whatever it is, Bruce, it's really, really, really big.
Yes,
Because he didn't say run and tell the angels.
All the angels.
He said tell all of the angels.
Yeah.
So he's not just asking for angels to come, that it could take all night. He wants every angel there is.
Yeah. There's going to be a need.
I mean,
for
that is powerful.
That is powerful.
To begin the whole statement with that.
And it's a nod to I feel like one of the things that I've read is that when there was a certain temple built and there was a certain ring and there were specific angels called in to deal with certain, I don't even know what to call them, but almost like certain demons, certain devils. And I think it had to do with what I don't know very much about with Solomon's ring.
Okay.
But I just know that that's a hint, I think, to the idea that there are multiple angels out there, very powerful ones, that can be called in and come to help. Because if the need is great, then that is there. And
but the fact that he also needs a devil to help him get things right. What I love about that is within everything, there is a positive, negative.
Oh, yeah.
There's a yin and a yang.
Yeah.
A light and a dark. It's like there is polarization. And really, I guess we're talking about duality because he wants to see the other side of the coin.
Yeah.
He wants a devil to help him make things right. And for me, and I think most people that are listening, when you think of a devil, you go directly to where I was brought up as a child in the church, and devil is bad.
A little red guy with horns and a tail.
Right.
And a pitchfork style thing in his hand. Yeah.
The word devil has gotten a bad rap.
Yeah.
It means, it has so much negativity, so much, the darkness, the shadow, that is wrapped into that one word, devil.
Yeah.
It's fascinating because he's calling in all of the angels, but yet he still needs a devil to get it right. And I love that because for me, it's balance.
Of course,
it's understanding that in the search of all that is good, there is also some things that may not be good that you also have to look at.
Yeah.
Because that's where the balance is.
Oh my gosh.
Light can't be light unless there's dark to show that it is light.
Absolutely.
It's fascinating.
It is fascinating. And it's, that's what we have. I believe that's what we have EMTs, emergency medical technicians who are capable of looking at something that most of us would recoil away from and throw themselves in to help. Yeah. To be able to, to look at that, what we could think of as look at that darkness, but within darkness is light and within light is darkness. So it's like, we could get on this one forever.
Oh, that's true. Hook me up. A new revolution. Because this one is a lie.
We sat around laughing and watched the last one die.
So are they saying the last revolution die?
Well, I think there's an acknowledgement of that. I don't think that it's, I don't think it's what they're saying is an absolute hard truth there. I think they're just kind of saying, we sat around laughing and watched the last one die. More like that seemed like a joke. Okay. But because I really I would have to say that seems like they're kind of laughing at the memory of it.
Okay.
But that's my take on that. Hook me up to a new revolution because this one is a lie. We sat around laughing and watched the lie. I think they're just kind of saying, well, we don't know what's going to happen next. So, okay, whatever. But we sat around laughing at the last one, because I mean, it's kind of like I think sometimes we think of that TV show Cheers.
Okay.
Great TV show. We sat around laughing at it and enjoying it, maybe crying sometimes, but now it's in the past, and hook me up to a new whatever it might be.
I'm envisioning right now like a huge, I don't know, like a Woodstock, okay? I'm thinking 60s, Bruce. The love revolution.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There has been like a theme, I guess, that society seems to flow with. The love revolution, this revolution, that revolution. And that's where I was kind of thinking, he's like, I need a new revolution. I need something else to begin to look at. And I don't know why I'm being drawn to say this. I don't know if this is also pertaining to substances.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah.
That that's the devil that he's calling in.
Wow.
To help him make things right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he needs a new revolution, meaning his old solution that he used to use isn't working anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's killing people, because this is a warning for people out there that do, use substances that are more than nature bound.
Right. Yeah.
What is it? It kills people almost instantly. The thing that's been in drugs. And
fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just, for some reason that came to me, and I don't know why I'm being drawn to say that, but maybe hook me up. You hook a person up with. Anyway, it could have a nod to that, saying I'm looking for something else to help me, because now I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life.
Yes, looking for something to help me burn out bright.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm done with drugs. I'm done with, all the things I've tried to make my brain, not think about all the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I need a new revolution. I need something different.
Something
and so now I'm looking to the sky. And that's interesting because the whole song began with that.
Yeah.
Run and tell all of the angels. And back from my childhood, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people's childhood, what's in the sky?
Clouds.
Heaven.
At
least that's what, the belief structures were.
Yeah.
That
actually
heaven's up above.
And heaven is actually in the clouds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's where the angels and God live. And when you see an image of the pearly gates, as they call them, or the gates of St. Peter.
Always in heaven.
And it's always in clouds.
Which is in the sky.
Blue
all around in clouds.
And clouds.
Yes.
Like you're walking on clouds, you're surrounded by clouds. It's clouds. And so that's the...
So he's looking to the sky to save him.
Yeah.
So for me, that is...
Looking to God.
Looking to God, right. Looking for something to help me burn out bright. So in other words, burn out bright, Bruce, I'm...
Going out with a bang.
Yes.
Taking advantage, carpe diem, seize the day to feel that moment of just completely, I don't know if they say this anymore in like internet chat, that's like flaming out, where somebody's like totally like just, they put a flame next to your name when you're like on a rant. Or just going out with a bang, I think is the best way to look at it, like a shooting star.
Right. I wanna, yeah. And there's also a element of burning out bright. So when you burn out, you're like, it's like the last hurrah, I
like
guess
a
is
supernova.
what I'm trying to say. Yes.
Yeah.
But he goes on to say, or whoever wrote this song, the Foo Fighters, and I'm looking for a complication. Looking because I'm tired of lying. Make my way back home when I learn to fly high. So for me, that is, I'm looking for a complication. I'm looking for something to stop me from, because I'm trying to burn out.
True. I also think that looking because I'm tired of lying might be a little clue there too. Because
I'm tired of telling people I'm all right when
Yeah.
inside I'm not.
Right, and I think that's how it's like putting your it's like what you're searching for, and then the file that you need to search for that in. You're putting the first thing first, and then the second thing second, but they don't necessarily go that way when you're explaining things, and that's what I feel like is happening here. Looking for something to help me burn out bright, and I'm looking for a complication. Looking because I'm tired of lying, and I think that the lying is about the complication. The complication is what they're lying about. And then once they figure out what that complication is with the shadow work and figuring out what the shadows in the past are, or whatever it might be, substance, make my way back home when I learn to fly high. Because then I've found a way to put the past or shed the attachments and move on.
Right. And think about it, Bruce. When you fly high, you're so high
Yeah.
in the sky
Yeah.
that everything that's going on here on Earth can't affect you.
Yeah,
You know,
no
you're
joke. Yeah.
above the chaos.
Yes.
You're above the discord, you know, whatever's happening on Earth, you're up in the sky just flying right by it.
Well, and we know what that feels like if we've ever ridden in a plane, because when you get above the clouds in a plane, you are above the weather. The weather that you actually experience up that high are wind patterns that are associated with weather. But, you know, if you were in the clouds or below, you could be in a terrible rainstorm, or not a terrible rainstorm, but you could be in a thunderstorm. You could be in a totally different situation. But we get to fly above everything when you're up in a plane at 30, 40,000
when
feet.
you're flying high,
Yeah.
you get to not be in it so
Yeah.
much. But going back to that very first line of that, now I'm looking to the sky to save me. I did want to just put in a little reminder of everybody, for everyone, that I think that's what a lot of the issues are, is that people are constantly looking outside of themselves to save themselves.
They're looking for
a savior.
They're looking for a sign of life, looking for
Right.
something to help them burn out bright. Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Everything is inside of us. And another point that we could probably spend an entire episode on for you guys. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Looking outside to try to fix what's within so that we can put a label on something out in front of us, like a bumper sticker that has a catchy catchphrase. And then we can feel good about ourselves and chuckle as we drive to work, you know?
And he's looking for a problem, the
Yeah.
complication,
Yeah.
so he
Yeah.
can blame it because he's tired of lying.
Yeah.
It's like, I know it's inside of me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm lying about it. So I think I'm done nursing patients. So this is fascinating because is this his job? Is he like a nurse? And this is patients as in people sick in the hospital and all.
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, well, it could be his patients. Like I want to get going.
Yeah.
I'm an impatient person. You know, I
Yeah.
thought it was
Yeah.
nursing patients. And learning patience is something that is
Oh, my
a gift.
goodness. Yes,
it is a gift. So nursing patience, it can wait one night. So what he's doing is this one night, he's calling in all the angels. He's going to let it take all night because he needs to get things right.
Yeah. You can tell he's thinking, I need to get my stuff together. You know, I'd give it all away if you give me one last try.
So who is you?
I think that, you know, in a way, if I were to listen to this song and just think of it like, just without trying to analyze it at all, I would think that it had to be somebody outside of him. But I do think that he's actually talking to himself here. Like, that to me is, you know, if I'd give it all away, if you give me one last try, like looking to the sky, looking for signs of life, it's like a plea.
Right.
And it's like a plea that, I've made this plea in my life. It's hard to admit it, but look to the sky and like, why is this happening to me? The very
I
classic
think we
plea.
all have,
We
Bruce.
all
We all
have.
have.
And so that's the part of this that I think that we can attribute it that way. Now, yes, I will admit, for those of you out there that are like, boy, you guys overthink everything. Well, maybe we do.
That's what's fun.
That is what's fun. But that's the thing is that, honestly, yeah, we could just say, I'd give it all away if you give me one last try. It could be a partner, male, female, whichever, or
Could be the drug.
it could be the drug. Yeah. That was what I was just going to say. It could be the drug. And I mean, we could go even farther out there. It could be his pet bird, cat, or dog, I mean,
And it could be God.
it could
Because
be,
He is calling for something here.
angels and
He is
even
calling for help.
even a
can
devil who
see
maybe,
that.
who maybe needs to do the dirty work or
and then
whatever.
he
Yeah.
says, after he said, if you give me one last try, we'll live happily ever trapped if you just save my life.
Yeah. That's one of the lines that I feel like might have been, and I've noticed this with a few songs, and that is it may be one of those keys or like foundation stones. I forget what they call them when they're building a building. They have those
Yeah.
like
The cornerstone.
It's like a cornerstone of this song. I feel like, I think that the person, the Foo Fighters, the writer, thought of some of these things and knew that they wanted to sprinkle them in this song because we'll live happily ever trapped if you just save my life. There's a hint there about, yes, we will be happy, but we will also be trapped if you do this thing that is going to keep us in this way of being and thinking that is basically not good for us.
Oh,
Like it's kind of like this.
Fascinating.
It's so
Yeah.
kind of weird weavy. I don't know how else to say it, but it's like, we'll live happily ever trapped if you just save my life. And, then run and tell the angels that everything's all right. I think that there's a little bit of a, like that. It's like a cover up. It's like a masking. It's like a sweep under the rug, like in a way, like who's fooling who?
Right.
But I mean, I think that,
And he could be also alluding to what a lot of, I guess, they're called, I think, conspiracy theorists or whatever.
Yes.
That this whole world is just we're slaves or something like that. So
Yeah.
maybe that's also what he was doing, was making a nod to, we'll live happily ever trapped, on this earth or whatever, in this movie, in this, way of life that we're living.
But I like how you were mentioning it earlier about this could be a nod to a substance. Because if we think about that, I think I'm done nursing patients. It can wait one night, because sometimes people that are dealing with substances are just looking for one more day. And so I'd give it all away if you give me one last try, because sometimes they're thinking, maybe I could just dabble a little bit here. Give me one last try. We'll live happily ever trapped if you just save my life. Think, that could be very
Help
easily.
me this one night, just save my life.
Yeah, and then you can run and tell the angels that everything's all right because now I'm flying high.
Now I'm looking to the sky to save me, looking for a sign of life, looking for something to help me burn out bright. I'm looking for a complication, looking because I'm tired of trying.
Yeah.
Make my way back home when I learn to fly high. Make my way back home when I learn to.
It's then he says, fly along with me. I think it is meant to go right into that lyric, but that's where I also believe that sometimes the substance can become the partner in crime and can be the misery loves company.
Right.
And so in a way,
it could be anything,
it
Bruce.
could be anything.
It could be food. It could be exercise. It could be a partner, another person. It could be your job.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many things that people become addicted to.
Yeah.
And they think that they can't live without it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they think that, that's what makes them, that's what saves them. That's what helps them get through the day. That's what helps them get through the night.
And they can control
They can't be themselves. They haven't learned how to go within and find those shadows and work that needs to be done within, so that then they can just fly high with themselves. They don't need anything else to help them fly. I think that's what he is trying to say here is I want to learn how to fly. I want to do this by myself. I want to be that person.
That's amazing, because that's exactly what it says in the next line, that make my way back home when I learn to fly along with me. I can't quite make it alone. Try to make this life my own. It's amazing that you just said that, because that's exactly what they say next. I'm blown away, because I agree with you. I think it's really a nod, a hint, and a reference and a respect to everything that you just said.
Right.
Fly along with me. I can't quite make it alone. Try to make this life my own. It's exactly what you're saying.
Right.
Looking within. It is a hard journey.
Right. And because it says I'm looking to the sky to save me.
Yeah.
He hadn't quite figured it out.
Yeah.
He's still looking to the sky to save him.
Yeah, trying to find...
Looking for a sign of life.
Yeah, looking for something to help me burn out bright. It's, looking for that complication, because I'm tired of trying. The effort that it takes, it can be exhausting. And make my way back home when I learn to fly high.
Where is home, Bruce, before we say goodbye?
Home is, as they say, where the heart is. So I believe,
Beautiful.
I believe that home is within us all the time.
Yeah.
And that it is only, the structure of home, the brick and mortar of it, is simply a distraction. I think we all have home within us.
I think that it is a feeling. It is an energy, and I agree with you. I mean, before you said the words, that was what was in my head. Home is where the heart is.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And that is what I believe that he's trying to say. I want to fly high. I want to make my way back home. And a lot of people, when you die, they talk about going back home.
Yes.
Because we are spiritual beings in this beautiful physicality of a world and a physical body. And that when we let go of the physical body, the substance that we are, does go home. Back to the beginning, back to the nothingness, back to the all that is, the love that is and sustains all.
That's beautiful. And the interesting part of that is that entity, that love, that substance is flying. Because it doesn't walk out of our body.
Right.
It doesn't have the constraints of what we think of as gravity. It simply flies. And anybody that's ever heard of a near-death experience has heard the story of the person floating above
their body.
And so
right.
there's a lot packed into this wonderful song. So I'm really glad that we did it.
Yeah.
I'm really glad we did it.
Me too. So I think learning to fly is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
When we learn what flying is.
It's going to be, going back to the Eagles, they're going to have to be absolutely terrified in order to fly. They're going to have an amazing amount of love that they're going to feel because they've just been raised by this beautiful parent that has just fed them and taken care of them and protected them for so long.
Mom and dad both feed them.
And now the ultimate love of you have to be set free. We have to kick you out of this nest. We have to make you learn to fly. And that is such an ultimate moment of love because that has to happen. That eagle can't just stay there in the nest.
Right.
That would be death. And so
in that moment, you have to let go of everything.
Everything.
Everything you've ever known, the nest, the warmth, the food, and you have only yourself
Yeah.
to fall back on or
And
to fly.
and you've done it
And
because we weren't born with wings, but we do the exact same thing the moment we emerge.
right.
We have to take that first breath and we have to leave the womb and we have to leave our cord. We have to leave all that beautiful nourishment, all that beautiful support.
And we have to learn to fly.
Yes,
Yeah. And when we learn to fly, then we can soar above all of the noise and chaos and everything that goes on, all around us, and still have that feeling of flying, which is peace,
absolutely.
which is grace, which is love.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, really cool. All right. Thank you, Foo Fighters.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Donna.
And thank you, each and every one of you, for joining us here today on
Lyrical Wisdom.